Hello everybody, it's Jess and I'm back with a fun video for you all. This one is going to be a Mani twin with my girl Ginny. She is PurpliciousDipz on Instagram and I will share her link down below in the description box. Today I am going to be doing some stamping and a glitter ombre underneath that. So this is a stamping plate I'm going to be using. I got it off of Amazon and I'm going to be using ManiBoss. This is a beautiful medium to fine glitter mix called Don't Stop Me Now. Of course, it's purple. We had an inspo picture. I will insert it so you can see. I got it off of Pinterest. Pinterest. And yeah, so we switched it up a little bit. We needed sort of a sheer pink, and Jeannie's going to be using Vivid Glam Co's pink glass, but I didn't have that, so I had to make my own. I'll talk about that a little bit later. I will be using Maniology polishes for my stamping and my double dipped dip liquids. And I found this cute little fan brush on Amazon. I will link that down below as well. I'm going to try using that for my glitter ombre to see if that works a little better for me. So I'm going to go in with my first color, which is the sheer pink that I created. Now I used my regular clear dip powder that I used to encapsulate with, and I added a tiny little bit of pink mica powder. I used sort of a light pink mixed with a dark pink to hopefully match my skin tone a little bit, and I think it worked out pretty well. So yeah, if you ever need something like that, it's always possible to create it yourself if you don't own it. As I previously mentioned, Ginny is going to be using pink glass from Vivid Glam Co. I will link that down in the description box just in case you'd like to have something like that in your arsenal of dip colors, but don't have the mica powder or the inclination to create one yourself. I dabble a little bit in making my own dip powders occasionally, so I have all the supplies to do that with, but some people might not. So I will link that for you down below. And yeah, so I'm going to dip out 2 layers of this sheer pink. I did not give it a name, so we'll just call it that. And I'm not going to show both dips, only because it's pretty redundant. Second dip looks exactly like the first dip. So when I come back, we're going to get into this glitter ombre and we'll see how the fan brush I found works for that. Okay, now that I have the foundation laid down with the sheer pink, I'm going to go in with Don't Stop Me Now. I am putting it into a cupcake liner only because, one, I want to be able to catch all the glitters as they fall, but also this fan brush is a little too wide to fit inside the jar, so the cupcake liner just makes that all a bit easier. So I apologize if I am out of frame a little bit for this first ombre. I am not going to show, again, it's redundant. All the nails are done exactly the same way, so I'm only going to show you, I believe, the first two nails. But as you can see, I scoop up, it's kind of out of frame, I'm so sorry, but I scoop up the glitter and I tap it on just like I would with a regular brush. However, what I found with this fan brush is that it gave me a lot more control. I could pick up as little or as much of the dip powder as I wanted. I could control exactly where it was going. And then once I had just a few more on the end of that brush, I just tapped and it gave the perfect glitter ombre effect. I'm extremely happy with the way this turned out. And I think that this fan brush, see, I just realized I was out of frame, so I fixed everything. So I'm going to show you this one more time so that you can really see what I'm doing with this fan brush. But I think this is going to be my go-to technique for glitter ombres from now on because it was super easy and quick. Now, of course, if things don't fall exactly where you want them, or you want a little bit of more, evenly spread out glitters, you could always take your orange stick like I am here and just move a couple around. They were in the right general area. I just wanted to spread them out a little bit. So thankfully, these double dipped liquids allowed for that. And voila, I have, so I do the rest in fast motion. I'm such a liar. Sorry. I do all of the nails on camera. I just sped it up a bit, but that's good because you can see how really easy it is to control these glitters with this fan brush. I mean, no time at all, and I was done. So this is a great little tool and a great little trick for applying the perfect glitter ombre. What do you think? Have you tried this before? Have you used a fan brush? Or do you have a favorite kind of brush? I used to use just, a regular eyeshadow brush. The cheapy ones that you can get in like the Dollar Tree or what have you. There's Wet n Wild, there's e.l.f., and those worked okay. But I felt like I was constantly having to reload the brush and I didn't have as much control over the amount of glitter that I was using. So this is great because, as you can see, I can scoop up as much or as little glitter as I want. And because it's sort of a flat brush, what's the term? I don't know. Water falls on a little bit better than with a fluffier brush. This is just my personal opinion. It is a personal preference, as everything relating to dipping and nail art and what have you. It's what works best for you. I am actually loving this fan brush, so it may be my go-to from now on. Now I'm going to encapsulate my glitter in clear. This is to protect the glitter from my filing. You always want to encapsulate. If you are a dip powder liquid user, as I am, you would encapsulate in clear dip powder. If you are a gel liquid user, I'm personally never done this before, but I've heard several people say that you can encapsulate with your gel base or your gel base and then a top coat, cure that fully, and then you can file over that. But either way, it is important that you encapsulate your glitters because most glitters are silver on the inside, so if you accidentally file into them, it will not be the pretty colored glitter that you see when you apply it. You just want to be super careful. So encapsulating helps kind of ensure that you protect those glitters. All right, so I've said that spiel, and now I'm going to finish up encapsulating them. I'm speeding through this as quickly as I can because I'm going to activate and then file and buff off camera, and we'll get into some stamping fun. All right, now it is time for some stamping fun. So this whole process, this was probably what took me the longest, and that is only because I had no issue with pickup. The stamp picked up pretty nicely almost every time. I had to fill in a couple of spaces here and there in the hearts, you know, but overall it was a pretty easy pickup. My issue was in laying the stamp on my nail, because these lines, even though they're kind of, you know, not perfectly straight, they are straight up and down in that sense. So these tips that I'm wearing have a much more defined C curve than I'm used to having on my nails. So when your nails are curved like that, stamping straighter lines is a challenge. So that took a few times of trial and error to figure out the best way to make that happen, and they still didn't come out perfectly straight. But it's all good, because as we say in the nail art world and the dip powder world, perfection is an illusion, and there really is no such thing as perfection. As long as we're having fun and we like it, it's all worth it, right? So there's that second pickup, and it was a much better pickup than the first one. And I finally start to find my groove, and I'm going to zip through this. But I will tell you, I am not going to show you more than just 2 of these nails being stamped. And there's several reasons for that. One, it was kind of tedious because, as I said, lining him up, yeah, there was a lot of redos. Also, I was out of frame a lot because, just like with my filing routine, sometimes I end up with my hands up in my face because I can't see very well. And I didn't realize that so much of this process was off camera and out of frame. So my apologies for that, but I think I got at least 2 good views of this process, and I will share those with you. And then we will get into top coating these babies. So hang with me. bear with me. Oh, but before I disappear briefly, I just want to mention that I meant to mention this earlier. I am applying the sticky base coat from Maniology to my entire nail to help with adhering the stamp, because sometimes if you don't move fast enough, that stamp dries pretty quickly on the stamper, and you might have a hard time getting it to stick. So the sticky base coat just helps eliminate that issue. When I return, I'm going to show you how I top coat my stamped nails. Once I am satisfied with what I have stamped, I go in with my Maniology No Smudge Top Coat. I have just found, in my experience with stamping, my limited experience with stamping, that if I don't use the smudge-free top coat, I inevitably ruin the stamp, because as dry as it might get, the activator on top of a stamp is never a good idea. I've always ruined the stamp if I don't use something to protect it. And the smudge-free top coat is the perfect choice for that, because once it dries completely, you can apply activator over the no smudge top coat and then use your dip liquid top coat as usual. And it works really, really well for me. So that is the process that I use. You can use what works for you. This is merely a suggestion. Do with it as you wish. One tip that I will give you in applying activator over the smudge-free top coat is that it is still possible to destroy or smudge your stamp even with the smudge-free top coat if you're not careful. So what I prefer to do, just to be on the safe side, is I either float, if there's enough liquid on my brush, I float the activator, or I dab it on the surface of the nail. That way I'm not swiping across the nail and risking a smudge. So that's what I like to do, and it works really well. It gives the coat of activator and provides the reaction that you need with the top coat for it to cure fully. It works just fine. So just be aware of that and be very careful when you're applying your activator. And then you can go in with your top coat and do your 3 quick swipes as usual for your first coat, and then go in with a more detailed second top coat, and you're done. I'll be back in just a bit to wrap everything up. Here we are with the final look. I think this came out adorable. That stamp is so cute, and I love the effect of the glitter ombre underneath it. I think it's really different. Jeannie and I thought it would be the perfect Galentine's Day Mani Twin opportunity. So I am extremely happy with the outcome. And I am super excited to be mani twinning with my BFF Jeannie again. We had so much fun the last time we did this back in, I want to say it was in the summer or the spring. I'll link that video up in the cards for you guys if you want to check it out. I am so glad you decided to come and hang out with me while I did my nails. I hope that you learned something new and took something away from this video that might help you in your nail art, nail dipping journey. That is ultimately my entire purpose for doing this. I love sharing my experiences, and I love sharing products and styles and techniques that might help you. And I absolutely love doing that. I hope you enjoy it too. By the way, the cuticle oil that I'm using, I didn't mention because I was yapping away, is a sweet candy hearts from Candy Skincare, and it smells so sweet and delicious. I'm obsessed, and it's all Jeannie's fault that I had to have it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like seeing this kind of content. Take care. Bye-bye now.